last question? Crap, I exited out of it. It was how much
important is food?
So, yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
How important is food variety?
It's important. I would say it's important from a micronutrient standpoint. Also, not getting bored. That's a thing.
Pretty important.
So from like a micronutrient standpoint / variety, if you're having variety in your meals throughout the day, that's most likely good enough. Because I think people are thinking like, okay, I have to eat the same thing every single day, which is, you can do it, right? You can do it. You can have the same meals every day. But as long as there's variety in the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like breakfast, totally. Lunch, dinner, snacks, you're getting some variety within that and not eating the exact same thing all day long. But that can look the same throughout the week. I personally, and I do like telling my clients this too, like to make things easier, we want to keep things pretty simple, but from a variety standpoint, like switching out different fruits and vegetables, like it's really not going to make that big of a difference in terms of like our macros or anything like that. But we want to have that variety just because each fruit and vegetable brings a different micronutrient profile, right? So that's really the main thing with variety. Same with like, you could say same thing for meats. I mean, you could say it for everything. They're all going to bring some sort of different micronutrient profile, but it's not a big deal if you're having the same thing every day, as long as the meals are variety, have some variety.
Yeah. I guess maybe if you're like on a diet, you're like towards the end where you're really eating less and less, and like there's not that much coming in. That's where it might be a little bit more important.
Yeah, because
still, we wouldn't necessarily stay. If we do this right, we don't stay there that long. So again, I think for most people, like variety is gonna matter for just adherence, right?
Yeah.
Repeating meals, and this is something I told you this recently. Like I've been doing this more personally as well with clients, and I see good results with it. We're not necessarily on a strict meal plan, but I do say, hey, like, can we, repeat 3 out of 4 meals, 4 out of 5,
right? Just to make it variety
easier. Yeah, keep it easier, because this goes back to tracking as well. If you change it up all the time, all these different foods, right? And especially if this is food with a label and it's a little bit more processed, knowing that those labels can be quite inaccurate. There's so many variables there that we might just be causing some, what's the right word? Just being incorrect with our tracking.
Inaccuracies, yeah.
Inaccuracies, exactly, sorry. And this is something that Cody had me do. And he told me, like, I see that from day to day, and this is like a month and a half maybe, he told me, like, I see from day to day that your macros are up and down. Not that that's bad, but let's actually dial it in. Let's actually get you on sort of a plan, right?
Yeah.
And I did that. Guess what? We stuck to the same macros and my weight just dropped.
Yeah.
So that's maybe a little tip there. Like variety can sometimes make tracking a little bit more inaccurate.
Yeah, and harder and stressful to hit your numbers, right? Because you're just like, now you're starting to play like macro Tetris. Yeah. Right. You're like trying to figure it out like on the fly. Whereas like if you had the same one, you're way less, what's the word? Like food fatigue, like, or decision fatigue.
Yeah.
That's the one. Like you just know, okay, if I eat this, I'm going to hit my macros.
Yeah. And personally, that's why I keep, right now 4 to 5 meals the same, because it's also just something I don't have to think about during the day.
Right. Exactly.
I'm busy. Mm-hmm. I get my breakfast. It's the same thing. Like literally now, so normally I do 30 grams of protein powder or 50. I do 100 grams of oats, 100 grams of berries, and then 30 grams of peanut butter. The only difference now is that the peanut butter is 20 grams and the oats and the berries are like half. So 50-50.
Makes things so much easier.
Yeah. And it's just simple. I know what I get. And it's just one thing less to kind of like think about. Right.
Yeah.
And especially if you live a normal life, which I'm assuming that most people do,
Yeah.
like you have shit going on. You're busy.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can actually, you know, maybe include a little bit less variety during a cut, I'm specifically speaking, you know, about cutting right now, that might just be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then say, hey, you know, once we're back at maintenance, let's get more variety in.
I agree.
And
with
feel
that.
free to count it up.
Yeah.